Yes, folks, we are live. My name is Graham Elwood. It is the Political Vigilante. What's up, kids? We're going to get some other things. Welcome to the live stream. We're going to discuss a couple of items. One at the top of the show that I'm going to get into here in a little bit is what is going on in Armenia with Azerbaijan that is bombing it. So we're going to talk about that. I've talked about the Armenian genocide and the failure of the United States to acknowledge it. So we're going to talk about what's going on. My name is Gabriel Wood. We are live on YouTube and simulcasting on the Rockfin. Bobo. Simulcasting on the Rockfin. 55 people watching. Hello, One Chat. Hello, Truth to Tweed. What's up, Holly Horn? Hey, Mares. Hello. Kelly Jones. Shave your LA Chargers for justice. What's up, Kim? What's up, Jared? I don't know about why there's so many Asian bots on my things. Hit the like button, citizens of Gotham. We are live simulcast on the Rockfin. Let me bring up the monitor here. Boom, boom, bo, 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 bo. Oh, that's not what we pressed. And you know that. Oh, robots again. Hello, robots. It's Sunday, October 4th, 2020. Roughly 3:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6:15 on the East Coast, and whatever other time in some other part of the world. There we go. 75 people watching, 41 likes. Hello, Robin. Hello, Cosmic. Hello, Humanity. You're watching with your cat. Tell your cat I said hello. It's Monday morning. Down under. Authoritarianism is nothing to laugh at. Shave your chuckles for justice. You got that right. They did a past life reading on Trump. 20 million years. He was probably leader of the dinosaurs when they were extinct. Greetings from Germany. Keep going. Good work. 15 minutes after midnight here. Oh, thank you for staying up late. She heard your cat said meow. Shave your paws. Meow your paws for justice. Yeah, only in America we treat celebrities like judges. What's up, Matthew? Tristan. I'm watching with my eye. The jaundiced one. Oh, man. How do you feel? Rest up soon, folks. 95 watching, 51 likes. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the like button. And also greetings to everybody watching on the Rockfin. And if you're vegan guns, there they are. Look at them. Look at them. Trump COVID fake PR psyop. Here's what I'll say about Trump having COVID. Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. So Trump announced he had COVID. He's had it for about 5 days now. So many people in his team got it. And because that one woman had it Biden could have it. Any number of things could be the case. Here's what I will say. If in 2 weeks from now, he's like, oh, I'm fine, I barely had any symptoms, then it absolutely was a PR stunt because he didn't want to do any more debates because he looked so bad in the last one. Could very well be that. But the reality is COVID is real. And he's in his 70s. And people also that are overweight, it seems to hurt them worse. He's done all these rallies without masks. He's had all his inner circle getting all together without masks. He could very well have it. And he could be one of these long haulers. He could show kind of mild symptoms, and then it gets worse for him later down the road. I told you a year and a half ago, 2020 is the craziest year ever. Anything is possible. And COVID is the big wild card. A lot of scenarios here. What if he gets it and is just incapacitated? Well, then they're going to have to swear in Mike Pence. If the president is physically, mentally, whatever, if the president has to go for a minor surgery, has to be sedated, they swear in the vice president temporarily. So if he has to be intubated, hooked up to a respirator, then Mike Pence will be the temporary president. But he could also get this and pass away. He's in the demographic. Health-wise, he doesn't take care of himself. He doesn't eat healthy. He doesn't exercise. He plays golf every once in a while. He's overweight. None of those things help. So we're going to see. We're going to see what it feels like. When Chris Cuomo had it on MSNBC, he could kind of do his job during the day sometimes, but then he would say at night it got really bad. So we don't know what's really happening, but if he's all good, no problems, like 2 weeks from now, then you know it was just to get out of doing the debates. But COVID is the wild card. It is the wild card. And when this all happened, I was shocked that he didn't, all these Biden, all these older people. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Boom. Thanks for tuning in, folks. 143. Yeah, and God only knows what other underlying conditions that we have. Yeah, it must be nice to have healthcare when you're sick. Apparently, doctors in Italy and New York City found in treating COVID-19 that the determining day is day 9. Bad idea to check out a hospital before day 9. Oh, wow. It's going to take your breath away how many he and malaria have infected. Melania, yeah, malaria. He's already been released? Oh, boy. Best scenario, he comes out as Medicare for all. Oh, it's crazy. 155 watching, 166, 77 likes. Hit the like button. People watching on the stream, on the Rockman as well. Trump has not been released? Yeah, I don't know. Great way to support the show is do what Amberg33 did. Hit the dollar icon button at the bottom there on YouTube, and you support the show, and you also get to ask questions. Kyle Kulinski talked to his friend, who is one of the best doctors on COVID, and he said that it's stupid that they're talking about releasing Trump early. Well, yeah, but like, yeah, Trump, I mean, he doesn't think he can get it. I mean, I don't know. And his supporters don't think they can get it. I mean, they had these like prayer vigils outside of the hospital with all these Trumpers, and none of them were wearing masks. They honestly think he's above it. He's immune to it. And their MAGA hats are going to protect them. And I mean, what's probably going to happen is a bunch of people are going to get it. Some of these people are going to die. It could even be Trump. When people in that age group who also weren't healthy, you know, like, I don't know how many times early on in COVID, they'd say this person got it and they died and they had no pre-existing conditions. And they would show the person and they would like, they didn't have any pre-existing conditions like emphysema or asthma or something like that. But like, one picture was a young woman in her 20s and she was, 80 pounds, 100 pounds overweight. That's a pre-existing condition. And that's not shaming anybody. It's just that's a reality. And if you don't eat, and he eats crappy food, you're not exercising. I mean, all this stuff. I mean, there's a 37-year-old Marine who was all healthy and I'm not wearing a mask and he got it and died. So there have been some older people who have gotten it and showed minimum symptoms and been okay. You don't know. So it shows several things. One, look at how great a healthcare he gets, and he's getting socialized medicine. The government is paying for his healthcare. We don't get that, but he does. So it's like we need Medicare for all. If he's getting treated this way, he's flown in a helicopter. Like, then why don't we at least get free healthcare? I don't need to be flown in Marine One to the hospital if I'm sick, but I'd like to at least know I don't have a bill. Or like I get thousands of dollars of treatment and I have to pay like $100 or $200 or something like that. Trump left the hospital briefly so that Secret Service could ride him around so that he could wave to his base outside the hospital. If they release him early, it's just like putting people at risk. Yeah, I've heard the day 9 thing. He's only supposedly had it for 5 days now. So it's like day 8, 9, 10 is when it really starts to show itself. What are the long-term effects of having COVID-19, if any? Are these effects less or worse than long-term effects of being infected with Bill Gates' vaccine? It's a great question. The long-term effects now, they're saying 3 out of 5 people that have had it, even if they didn't show much symptoms, have like permanent damage to their heart. So they're saying the long-term effects to the heart and respiratory system is really bad, even if you didn't have severe symptoms. That's what's scary about it. Finding Neo, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Have you talked about the Bezos protest going live now in LA right now? Oh, God, I wasn't aware of that. Where is that? Let's find that. Yeah, is there anybody covering it right now that you can show me? Like, can we jump on somebody's feed? Status Quo is covering it. Status Quo is turning it live. Okay, let's go. All right, we're going to go right to that. We're going to cut to that right now. I'm going to go to that. Sharif Snug, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Do you think it was a hit on Trump? Why experiment a new drug on him? They never wanted him in the White House. It could be, man. This could be all kinds of crazy shit. It all could just be he's reckless and doesn't care about COVID, and this is what happens. It could be that. But if the deep state really wanted to take him out, they would have impeached him, right? They could have used the actual emollients clause to take him out. So it's hard to say. But maybe, I don't know, maybe somebody infected his team. I don't know, but he's so reckless with it, and nobody wears it at his rallies, and there's photos of him and his staff and his family not wearing masks. Like, I don't know. Anthony, Detroit bus driver staged work stoppage Friday through today. Nice. All right, let's go find, I'm going to go to the Status Quo protest right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We're going to cover the protest staged by Status Coup of the So that's the live stream. Please follow at Status Coup on Twitter. That's happening right in Beverly Hills in front of Jeff Bezos' home, which is a $90 million home. He has a home. There's a home in D.C. that they put guillotines at. And this is what it's going to take, folks. I've talked about this. It's going to take peaceful, nonviolent action. What that gentleman was talking about early on is something we've talked a lot about on this show, which is a general strike. And I would say right now, how can I do this? What can I do? I feel so powerless against the big bad Jeff Bezos. Well, here's the thing: organize a boycott. Start with yourself. I canceled my Amazon. I don't have Amazon Prime. I canceled that years ago. I'm not giving him my money. I try to never shop at Amazon. I don't shop at Whole Foods anymore. I do Trader Joe's. I go to co-ops. I go to local places like that. I like going local health food stores. And I have friends that work for Whole Foods and Amazon. I know people that work for these companies. I have no problem with them. But I have a problem with Jeff Bezos, who's worth $158 billion, probably more now since he's been profiting in a maddening sense during the pandemic. So people can't eat. There's tent cities. People are lining up for food banks. I've done stories how food workers, people have jobs and can't afford food. And he has 3 homes worth $150–200 million or something like that. He flies around on a $75 million Gulfstream. So that's what it's going to take. So start putting just boycott Amazon on your social media. Start right there. That's something to do. I talk about it all the time. Vote with your dollars. So Status Coup was covering it live. It's in Los Angeles, in Beverly Hills, happening right now. Remember now, Chris Smalls back in March started to organize a union because it was unsafe. He didn't, and his coworkers didn't want to get COVID, and they weren't getting hazard pay or anything like that. Jeff Bezos fired him. And his senior executive at Amazon stepped down when that happened. So Amazon was this cool company that was bringing books to people, 20 years ago. And like all things, it starts as this great idea by a handful of smart people, and then it just becomes this thing that is completely out of control. The government should take it over and turn it into a public utility. And Amazon owns part of FedEx. That's why they're trying to get rid of the post office. Like, just anything to make our lives easier, they want to get rid of it so they can make a profit off of it. So this is how you get involved. And hats off to the people who organized that protest, and hats off to Status Coup. If 20 million people stopped using Amazon overnight, that would cause real change. And that would be more change than anything that could happen in November with an election. I'm not saying not to vote. I always vote, but voting is like one of 20 things to get done. Neoliberals think voting once every 4 years, that's their activism. And then retweeting some dumb meme about Jill Stein having dinner with Putin that's been completely debunked 1,000 times. So you're here watching this. That's why we're covering this. CNN is not covering it. I doubt the local channel where Jeff Bezos' girlfriend works is covering it. So that's why you come here and support independent media, like Status Coup and like this show. Like, share, subscribe. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood. Go to rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, blockchain cryptocurrency platform. Great free ways to support the show. Listen to the podcast. It's on iTunes. It's free. Give it a good review. Download it. Share the videos. All stuff like that. Boom. Thanks for watching. Jeff Bezos does work with the CIA. So the CIA hired Amazon to use its servers for $600 million. They work with the CIA. Trump has not been released. Also, Ventura is not running. Good to know. Yes, I'm almost at 75,000 subscribers. Hit the subscribe button. Yeah, he's just waving to his supporters. He has not been released. Oh, he crossed 200 billion last month. Great. No sound. But what can we do if everyone's just talking and no action? Well, I just gave you an action right there. Stop shopping at Amazon. That right there. There's an action. That's a daily action you can take. Don't shop at Amazon. Don't shop at Whole Foods. That's owned by Amazon. That's a daily action. Don't buy the Washington Post. That's an action. It's an action. Those are actions. These are actions you can take right now. And you can say, I stopped using Amazon, and put that on your social media. I'm not supporting this company. So your friends and family on social media see that. There's an action. You get 1 or 2 friends to do that, that's a huge impact. The revolution for progressive hitting is right now. What did Amazon do? First of all, they won't unionize their employees. Jeff Bezos could single-handedly end homelessness in this country, and he won't. He got a super PAC. Bezos created a super PAC to go up against 2 socialist city council in Seattle. One was Kasham Sawant, who ended up winning, and the other was, I forget the other guy's name. He ended up not winning, but he spent money to block socialist city council members in Seattle. And he won't give his employees hazard pay during COVID and all this stuff. $178 watching, 145 likes. Ooh. Sure I didn't miss super chats. Louise Brooks, shave your knuckles for justice. Occam's razor, simplest explanation is true. Trump was all over red states with no mask. Of course he got COVID. Yeah, I agree, Louise. I don't think it needs to be some crazy conspiracy. It's pretty simple. You run around without masks. This is what happens. Gina Gale 9, shave your knuckles for justice. Gina, thank you for supporting the show. Love you, Graham. Hope you're doing well. Sorry about your father. Thank you so much. It's been a week or so since he passed away, and I've had so many wonderful emails and phone calls. I talked to a childhood friend of mine. We grew up a couple doors down from each other, and both of our fathers were like college professors. And I just reconnected to some friends I haven't spoken to in a long time, which has been really, really cool. And unfortunately, it's a lot of like guys in my age group whose fathers have all started to pass away, which is the cycle of life. It's sad on the one hand, but it's like, you start getting in your mid 70s and up, and that's what happens. But thank you for that, Gina. I appreciate that. And you all have been very sweet. I've gotten so many wonderful comments and emails and text messages and social media stuff. And so it's been really cool. So thank you. Yes, it is. Ember 33, shave your knuckles for justice, Mark. I put some chats in the Rockfin. Oh, Rockfin. Mark, who just had, I think it's like some sinus surgery. So show Mark Emberg33 some love. My recovery's still pretty rough. I did a sinus rinse yesterday, and I must have knocked a stitch out. Oh, wow. Makes me crazy to think I'm having a rough recovery while Trump gets socialized medicine. I want to talk about it. Wow, that's brutal. Yeah, I'm sorry that's happening. And it's like I've heard so many people say, just put online or email me or whatever. They've had really problematic things with healthcare and dealing with our crazy healthcare system and billing and all this stuff, and then just watch Trump get whatever he wants, but the American citizens don't get that. It's messed up. If he was all about the people, he would be fighting for Medicare for all, which he's not. In the Status Quo live stream on YouTube, I saw one Amazon worker claiming that it's fair. Dr. Eva Bezos muting your... Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. These people in your YouTube live stream could be Bezos correct the record trolls. I wouldn't doubt if he paid money to do that. Chris Smalls was the whistleblower. I can't believe even this guy believes in masks. There's no hope. God, it's so simple to wear masks. They wore masks in Japan. They've kept their economy open. It's so simple. Just wear a mask. I don't know why it's so hard for you to not understand masks. I don't know, like when you see a doctor in an operating room and the whole surgery operating team is wearing masks, do you think that's to protect themselves and the patient from disease and whatever and breathing and infection? Or do you think they're all just haven't watched enough QAnon? Yeah. Don't wear a mask then. Go out in public. Go to a Trump rally and don't wear a mask. You'll be fine. I'm the crazy one. Like, what's the downside of wearing a mask? Okay, we wear it all the time. It's maybe not good for respiratory. Okay, I get that. But COVID's pretty awful. I've talked to medical people, friends of mine in medicine, they're like, it's awful. Virologists, they're like, it's awful. One virologist said it's like airborne AIDS. It's brutal. But it's funny, in the Spanish flu, there was people who didn't want to wear masks. There was the anti-mask brigade. And when the second wave came, it was always the second wave, bubonic plague, whatever. It's always the second wave is worse, which we haven't hit yet. We're going in the next couple of months. We're going to have it. That's when all these people, like tens of millions of people died. That's when it really got bad. The city of Philadelphia didn't wear masks during the Spanish flu, and the city of St. Louis did. Philadelphia got decimated. But yeah, don't wear a mask, man. You're good. Yeah, masks protect you from facial recognition software. That's another reason to wear it in public. Making babies wear masks is awful. Yes, because babies have a different respiratory system. Their lungs and everything are just developing. It's not good for babies. That doesn't mean that COVID is fake and adults shouldn't wear masks. Babies are different because they're little and still growing. Trump's grandfather died from Spanish flu. No, he didn't. Fake news. Trump's grandfather was a proud American who died because he knew too much justice and truth. He was fighting an American eagle. That's how he died. I'm right, you're wrong. Shut up. Me right, you're wrong. Me no like fact. Sorry. Gregory Williams, what's up? Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Computer engineer taking a hardware security class. My professor's example of an insecure system is always a voting machine. Strange, right? Oh, man. I know. Right? I mean, those Diebold touchscreen things, they were proven back in 2006 to be flawed. They've taken them to like hacking conventions, and like some 12-year-old kid hacks the system in like 10 minutes. It's a blockchain. We could use online voting using blockchain. We can make a secure system. We file our taxes. We all file. I mean, I've e-filed for taxes for years. I electronically send secure data, including my social security number. If you've ever done that, if you've ever done any bank transaction on your smartphone, how come we can do that, but we can't figure out online voting? It's such craziness. Thank you for sharing that, Gregory. It's such a great point you're making. Sharif Snug. Sharif, thank you so much for supporting the show, my friend. If you could make one demand from TDS, what would it be? Far left Supreme Court or money out of politics? Great question. I think I would ultimately say money out of politics, because money out of politics is really the root of all of it. And I would want to restructure the Supreme Court. Letting these 9 people decide everything is just ridiculous to me. Like the Supreme Court, you get the money out of politics, and then you could really start. You could restructure the Supreme Court. You could put term limits on it. You could do all this stuff, and the money out of politics would suddenly make our government start functioning better already, make it more of a representative democracy. So that's a great question, though. It's really, you guys ask great questions, dude. I've worn masks for 30 years. I work in surgery. Sometimes I wear a mask up to 6 hours. People can get used to it and get over being weirdos about their rights at this moment. It's so funny. The pro-lifers are holding up signs saying, "My body, my choice." Like Trump pro-lifer people are saying that. Okay. Oh, so you're pro-choice then? No, that's against God's law. Assume you have an approach to the facts when you examine a question like mask wearing. Yeah, I look at doctors and scientists and facts, and this thing was clearly way more airborne. It attacks the respiratory system. And then you look at countries again, like Japan. It's been wearing masks this whole time, and they have such a low amount of cases. Like Tokyo, a massive city, people are still riding the trains. They're going to work. Everyone just wore a mask. They didn't have to shut down their economy. Some aspects of it have been shut down. There's no big concerts. There's no sporting. I mean, like they didn't have fans for Japanese baseball and stuff. Okay. It's fucking hard, man. It's so hard. I'm not basing anything on facts. No, just. Sharif's not shake your knuckles for justice. Come on, Graham. Jeff Bezos is opening up a preschool. He's giving to the people. Yeah, laugh my fucking ass off for sure. Park Avenue lives matter. Yeah, guys, stop attacking billionaires, man. They're good people. I think their lives matter too. Sharif's bringing up a great point, man. Park Avenue lives matter too. It's not fair you go to in front of his home in Beverly Hills, his $90 million home. If he spent $90 million on a facility for homeless people, he could probably get, a couple hundred people off the street. But you're right, his lives matter. Good point. I'm being too mean on billionaires, guys. That's my fault. And Bird 33, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Shimshay has his cat Leo back segment. Oh, I'll just talk about this briefly. So about a week or so ago, I did a whole thing on Shimshay. This character I made that's based on a real guy, and he's lost his home to a fire, which just broke my heart. And he had a GoFundMe. I put his GoFundMe out there I've donated to it. And at the time, they couldn't find his cat Leo, which was just like heartbreaking. I felt so bad, like I poked fun at this dude. But Ember 33 is making us aware of the fact that they got the cat back. They did an update on GoFundMe, and they found their cat, which is fantastic. So Shimshay, I'm glad you got your cat Leo back, and I know how important pets are, and especially like if you lost a pet in a fire and there's all this chaos and you don't know where the pet is, and then you think the worst might have happened and then it didn't. The pet is still fine. That's good. So I'm very glad Leo the cat is still alive. So you heard that here. Thank you for making us aware of that. Michael, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Sorry you lost your house. How's it going? Well, I lost my house 10 years ago, and it's one of the reasons I stopped being a supporter of Obama and the Democratic Party, because I didn't see them do anything better or different than what Bush did. And then I saw Obama drop more bombs than Bush, and I saw neoliberals just fall asleep about it. And I've had neoliberals criticize me online when I talk about how I lost my money. Like, oh, you're an idiot. They literally say like right-wing talking points to me. It's unbelievable. It's insane. It's insane. So people just don't want to hear it. They're stuck with their team, like the Trumpers don't want to hear any facts about how awful he is. And the Vote Any Blue Will Do crowd, they don't want to hear what Obama's done, what the Clintons have done, what Joe Biden's done. They don't want to hear it. They just don't want to hear it. And we're made to feel like we're crazy people. Us like lefty progressives are just like, oh, here's facts. It's QAnon fucknuts. It's just insane. At a certain point, you just got to go, well, climate concern platitude preschool. Climate concerned. We're concerned about the climate. Not going to really do anything about it, but we're concerned. We're concerned. Arthur Handy, Arthur Shaving Knuckles for Justice. The Pope calls out trickle-down economics and the dogma of neoliberal faith. Wow. That is unbelievable. All right, I'll check that out. Has there been interstate travel bans in the United States? No. There's your problem. Yeah. The deep state. Hey, Sam Dean's here. What's up, brother? Should masks be required for pets? All right. Chicago's been, there have been some travel bans. New York, put 14-day quarantines in. The state of Hawaii, anybody flying into Hawaii still has to do a 14-day quarantine. Don't wear a mask. Go out. Don't wear one. Go out in a big group of people. You'll be fine. Your QAnon or your MAGA hat or your fucking chakra crystals, it'll work. You'll be good. It's all good. It's all good. VA, shave your knuckles for justice. People can't handle the truth. I posted several reputable negative articles about Biden and Hunter on Occupy Democrats Facebook, and they removed them. Oh, yeah. Good luck. Good luck getting the Vote Any Blue Will Do crowd to just understand all of the corruption of the Democratic Party. Good luck. Good luck. Annabelle Corley's here. All right, there's a segment I want to do about what's happening in all right. Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. Well, I've talked before about the Armenian genocide, which is the day that they honor it, I believe it's called Armenian Genocide Recognition Day, is April 24th. So I've talked about how this country, the United States, won't recognize the genocide, and neither will Israel. Israel, I'm going to say that again, will not recognize the Armenian genocide. The Turkish government claims to this day that it wasn't a genocide, it was just, oh, bad things happened during war, when they clearly did a genocide. They so much so that the Nazis went, wow, what Turkey did, we're going to do what they did to the Armenians, we're going to do the same thing to the Jews, right? So for the last week, there's been basically bombing. Azerbaijan is bombing Armenia. And no one's talking about it. So you got to come here because CNN won't talk about it. It's so bad that there was a protest the other day in Los Angeles. Demonstrators blocked the 101 freeway to bring attention to the fighting between Azerbaijan and Armenia. Right? This happened on October 3rd, Saturday. One person held up a sign that said, "This is not a war, it's genocide." And another called out the media, and the sign read, "Armenia needs your international coverage." But they won't cover it. So you got to come to a show like this to get it covered. So Los Angeles has the highest amount of Armenian population outside of Armenia, right? It's a huge Armenian population here. And Arno and Ruby, who used to work for the Jimmy Dore Show, they're Armenian. So they made me aware of this, and my other friend made me aware of this. So it's another night of protest took place in Hollywood Saturday, with crowds halting traffic on the 101 freeway, blocking intersections to raise awareness of what the local Armenian community calls attacks against their home country. They said this is the only way to bring attention because CNN won't cover it. Armenian protesters in a LA Block Sunset Boulevard chanting "CNN tell the truth," demanding international media end its silence on Azerbaijan's war crimes. Azerbaijan and Turkey jail more journalists per capita than any country on earth. Shireen Hashim was killed in Turkey. Shireen Hashim is an American journalist who discovered that we were sending troops we were letting ISIS go through American bases in Turkey into Syria. Just I'm giving you that right now to show you, and we're going to get into the whole thing. Why this is important is you're going to see how America is entangled with our tax dollars in this whole thing. But let's get back to the specifics of what is going on. They're attacking innocent civilian villages. They're attacking innocent people's homes, said a protester. The clash reignited Sunday and is possibly the most violent since the two countries' 1994 ceasefire. So this is just to give you a quick backdrop. When about 30 years ago, when the Soviet Union fell, Armenia and Azerbaijan were part of the Soviet Union. So when the Soviet Union fell, Armenia said, we want this part of Azerbaijan, it's ours. They had a war from like 90 to 94, and they had a ceasefire. So there's always been a bad blood and a disputed territory, kind of like Kashmir. Not the same specific geopolitics, but in terms of it's a disputed piece of land, right? Armenia claims it's theirs. Azerbaijan says, no, it's not. The United Nations won't recognize it as an Armenian territory. So these skirmishes popped up actually starting back in July, and they've gotten really bad to where now they're bombing. Azerbaijan obviously says they're defending itself. It's a civilian population. Armenia already killed 19 civilians, but now they're bombing the shit out of Armenia. So this was a protest in Los Angeles, and several Armenian American men said they're going to travel to join this, right? So there's more to this, right? Because I want to show you this other stuff. Because this has a lot to do with the Armenian genocide that happened during World War I. And Turkey, again, won't acknowledge it. Right? They won't acknowledge it. Israel won't acknowledge it. And Erdogan, the Turkish president, is basically, if he can wipe the Armenians back out again, he will. So this is now becoming a proxy war. And I'm going to show you in a minute who's funding what. But this is really, I'll show you the whole thing. I want to show you the whole thing. I really want you to understand all of this. So let's look at this map, this graphic that was put up here. So if you think what's happening in Armenia is a small regional conflict, think again. So let's go over here to the United States, right? On the left of the screen. Largest exporter of weapons to Turkey. So they sell weapons, the United States sells weapons to Turkey, who will not acknowledge the Armenian genocide. So that business deal right there is why the United States won't acknowledge it. Obama, when he was running in 2008, 2007, the primary 2008, he went to all these Armenian churches and said, I'm going to acknowledge the Armenian genocide. It's the number one issue any Armenian will tell you is like, hey, we want this acknowledged. Obama said he was going to do it, and then he didn't. So they felt betrayed by him. Weird that Obama betrayed people. So there's this financial reason. We sell 130 million. We export weapons to Turkey, plus 173 million annually in military aid. So we help fund their military, right? Then let's go to the top circle. So let's go up to where Turkey is. Population is 82 million people. They give military equipment, weapons, money, and allow Azerbaijan to launch from Turkish bases, right? In the middle there, you see Russia that sells military to Turkey, to Azerbaijan, and to Armenia. Now let's go to the bottom. The largest military assistance to Israel, we give $3.8 billion to Israel every year. That comes in the form of military equipment, weapons, and money. So then Israel also gives military equipment, weapons, and launching from Israeli bases. They've been launching from 5 times a day to Azerbaijan, right? So Armenia has a population of 3 million people. The Artsakh, region is the disputed region that has a population of 150,000 people, right? That's the disputed region. So Azerbaijan is attacking, but if you look at this graph, look how, this is what America does. We get tangled up in these things. And look, we could love to have another proxy war with Russia. The last time we had one of them was, Vietnam? So if Russia funds Turkey and Armenia and Azerbaijan, so then who we're going to force Russia? Just watch if CNN does start covering this, it'll be under this narrative. Russia funding Armenia. Somehow they'll try to pin it on Russia. They might not blame Armenia because there's enough of a voting bloc and that Armenians might reject that. But look, if there's a way that Mike Pompeo and Trump and the State Department and the defense contractors would love to ramp up another full war. And this is our tax dollars paying for all this, by the way. So you lost your job because of COVID, your unemployment's been cut or practically you're eliminated or it's about to be reduced. You don't have free healthcare, but we got money to get tangled up into this crap. But there's more to this, right? So I want to show you this. Armenia recalls Israel ambassador over arms sales to Azerbaijan, just to verify what I just showed you in that graph. An Israeli-made drone can be seen in video footage published by Azerbaijan of its strikes against Armenian targets in the Nagorno-Karabakh enclave, where dozens have been reported killed within a week. So you look at that. This video showing an Israeli Orbiter 1K drone. And Azerbaijan's important because it also, one of the reasons Israel supports them is they get oil from them, right? Publicly, Turkey and Israel don't get along, but they kind of do financially and oil-wise, right? Azerbaijan has acknowledged using Israeli-made weapons in its fighting with ethnic Armenian forces around Nagorno-Karabakh, where heavy clashes this week have drawn international calls for an immediate ceasefire, but not much from the United States. Protesting against the Israeli weapons expert amid the heaviest clashes since the 90s around this region part of Azerbaijan, but run by its mostly ethnic Armenian inhabitants, Armenian Foreign Minister spokeswoman Anna Nagdalian said, Israel's work style is unacceptable. The ministry has to call back its ambassador to Israel. Israel said in a statement that it regrets the Armenian decision and Israel values, God, just shut. Why do you issue those stupid statements? We all know it's bullshit. Like, who's that statement for? Who's fooled by that statement? Who reads that and goes, oh, they value it means nothing. It's like when a corporation gets caught for some crime or poisoning thing or giving somebody cancer with their product. Well, human life is our core value. Shut up. I don't believe a goddamn word you're saying, right? Israel provided Azerbaijan with some $825 million in weapons between 2006 and 2019. Those exports included drones, loitering munitions, anti-tank missiles, and surface-to-air missile system, information from Syria Armed Transfer Defense showed. Here's the footage. This is from the Azerbaijan Defense Ministry. And that's Israeli weapons. overhead. Israel is known for selling military equipment to Azerbaijan. It looks like Azeri Silkway Airlines is heading to Israel for some new equipment. So there's also this. Why hasn't Trump said anything? Because he's got hotels in Turkey, man. That's why. Here's Business Insider. This is from a year ago. Trump's disastrous retreat from Syria raises new questions about his financial interests in Turkey. Remember last October? It's because he's got hotels, man. President Donald Trump's decision. Look at this. The Trump family has extensive business ties in Turkey, and Trump in 2015 interview with Breitbart suggested there could be a conflict of interest. I have little conflict of interest because I have a major building in Istanbul, Trump said at the time. It's a tremendously successful job. It's called Trump Towers, 2 towers instead of 1, not the usual one, it's 2. And his dumb talk. Trump Towers Istanbul continues to generate revenue for Trump as part of the Trump Organization. Ivanka Trump, the president, daughter, and a White House advisor traveled to her father to Turkey for the launch of the towers in 2012. Here's a tweet from Ivanka in 2012. Thank you, Prime Minister Erdogan, for joining us yesterday to celebrate the launch of Trump Towers Istanbul. Erdogan called for having Trump's name removed from Trump Towers in Istanbul in 2016, accused of then presidential candidate Trump of Islamophobia. Right. Trump's licenses his name to the owner of the building and made $1 million to $5 million in royalties in 2015 and 2016, and he made $100 to $1 million. Turkish business magnate owns the building. The Dogans invested $400 million in Trump Towers, and Trump has boasted about their great friendship. The Trumps also have a close relationship with Mehmet Ali Yalçındag, Dogan's son-in-law, who is president of the Turkish American Business Council. I mean, it just goes on and on. So you're never going to see Trump, which is why House resolution, congressional letters condemn Turkish and Azerbaijan. This is October 1st. With combined Turkish and Azerbaijan attacks on the Republic of Ashtek, that's the disputed region, and Armenia entering their 5th day, Senate and House leaders are rallying congressional condemnation through legislation and congressional letters, working to bring about concrete policy changes that would cut U.S. military aid to the Aliyev regime and sanction President Erdogan for risking regional war amid global pandemic. The bipartisan Spear resolution, which already includes representative Republicans and Democrats, in this resolution, Trump keeps dragging his feet on this. So, folks, that I'm going to show you once again. See how tangled are we up? See, we're so caught up in this. This is what we do in the Middle East. And now in the middle of a pandemic, we're helping fund a country that was decimated 100-some years ago in a genocide. They're trying to finish it out. And people are like, oh, Graham, this doesn't have anything to do with the genocide. Really? Let me just spell it out for you. For all non-Armenians, in case you don't know or wondering why you're seeing so many posts about Armenia, there is a war in Armenia. Imagine, after the Holocaust, Germany went unpunished and 105 years later started killing Jews again. That is exactly what is happening to Armenians today. Turkey and Azerbaijan are trying to complete the genocide. It ain't right. That's why I talk about it. I don't need to be Armenian to see that this ain't right. And the fact, and there's Israeli scholars that have come out to say it's appalling that the Israeli government won't acknowledge a genocide. So there's very prominent Israelis are like, this is atrocious. But when you give $3 billion to Israel and then AIPAC spends all this money, mainly on Democrats, you can't call them out. You call this out in any way, shape, or form. Oh, you're anti-Semitic. It's not anti-Semitism to call out why is our government giving money to this other government? Why is their government spending money on lobbying in this country? And why are they helping to perpetuate a war? And why won't they acknowledge a genocide? I'm mad at the American government for not acknowledging this genocide. Does that mean I'm anti-American? In fact, if you're Jewish, you should be more outraged about this than anybody else. So I'm covering it. Nobody else is. CNN isn't. MSNBC isn't. Fox won't. Because Fox would never show the Trump ties to, right? If CNN covered this, they would only cover some of the Trump. They wouldn't cover the funding. So we'll keep covering this. We'll keep talking about it. And we'll shed some light on this. Because it's not right. One, we need to acknowledge the Armenian genocide. Two, we need to end this funding of Azerbaijan. And end this crazy, in the middle of a pandemic where they're bombing a country using Israeli and American weapons? Come on, man. Come on. Our tax dollars could be helping you through a pandemic, but instead it's going for this. We don't need to open the economy back up. We all just need free healthcare and UBI. I've said this from day one of this pandemic. If everyone was given $3,000 a month in free healthcare and we did student debt forgiveness, I did a video on that, 85% of student loans are federal loans. So the federal government, by executive order, another thing Trump won't do, could just get rid of it, wipe it out. It's not even losing money. It's just say you don't owe the money anymore. It's done. It's not even spending tax dollars. It's gone. We could end these 28, 30 million looming evictions that are happening. But instead, we're helping fund another one of these ridiculous quagmire proxy wars. Is this the end game, is to go get into a war with Russia somewhere in Armenia and Azerbaijan? Are you kidding me? Come on, man. This is why when I say end the wars, this is what I mean. America is currently bombing 7 countries. That's not counting this funneling of funds for other wars. I mean, if you count what, like this example, I don't know how many countries were like indirectly funding bombing and war. I mean, not to mention countries we're sanctioning. We outspend the next 10 countries combined. And we have people living in tent cities. We have people lining up for food banks. We have people not going to the doctor even though they're working because they can't afford it. We have anywhere from 30 to 60,000 people die every year because they don't have health insurance. It used to be 30,000, but since the pandemic, it's gone up. And yet we're giving money to Turkey and Israel to fund Azerbaijan, to bomb Armenia. Armenia's acknowledge their genocide. This is preposterous. This is preposterous. And it's all about, we need these bases in the Middle East to keep the war going, to keep the military-industrial complex going. That's why we invented ISIS and practically we funded them. It's all bullshit. Everything we do is nonsense. It's not for truth, justice, and the American way. It's not defending. It's just to keep the war machine going, to keep the money going from that. We could be helping Azerbaijan and Armenia settle their differences peacefully and help them, get off of Middle Eastern oil and fund a global Green New Deal that saves the planet from climate collapse. Nah, we're just going to keep war going and denying a genocide. Way to go. Well, Rachel Maddow won't talk about this. Sean Hannity won't talk about this. Tucker Carlson won't talk about this. Wolf Blitzer won't talk about this. Joanne Reed won't talk about this. Anderson Cooper, Don Lemon, None of them will talk about this. You got to come here to get that. Please support what we're doing so we can keep covering stories like this. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood. You can support the show for as little as $2 a month. You can also go to rockfin.com/Graham Elwood for $10 a month. First of all my videos are free on Rockfin. If you want bonus content, it's $10 a month, and you get every content creator's bonus content. You can listen to the Political Vigilante podcast on iTunes, like, share, subscribe, send these videos out. Really appreciate it. Thanks for watching the show. Boom, shave your knuckles for justice. Get to some of the yeah, Emberg 33, great point. Trump also let Turkey wage war on U.S. citizens. Louise Brooks, what's up? Shave your knuckles for justice. I'm so afraid that the military-industrial complex will use war with Iran as a way to jumpstart the U.S. COVID economy. I know. War with Iran, war with Russia, whatever. We're going to go fight some of them. China, somebody. We got to go fight somebody. Got to keep the war dollars moving. Got to keep the war dollars moving. Sharif Snug, shave your knuckles for justice. Do you think organized global protests could work? The ruling class is global. Amazon is global. I think local boycotts is too late. I think that's an excellent point. Yeah. I mean, if you looked at, remember that the first week of the George Floyd protests? All 50 states and something like 18 countries had massive protests. I remember watching like Brisbane, Australia, tens of thousands of people in the streets. So yeah, Amazon is a global company. Global boycotts. Google's a global company. Global boycotts. I think it's a great local boycotts. You know, I'm not saying don't do them, but I hear what you're saying. It's global boycotts, and we have the internet, so we have a global voice. We have a global voice. So I agree. Shout out to Ken Wolf. Boom. Thank you, Sharif. You ask great questions, man. Make sure I did. Annabelle Corley. There's a couple of super chats I missed. Annabelle Corley, what's up? Got a work meeting now, but can I request Shatner sings Freedom 90, George Michael? Freedom, I won't let you down, freedom. I won't move you up. All right, I'll try to remember that. You got it, Annabelle. Have fun at your work meeting. Make sure everybody shaves their knuckles for justice. Adam Gray, boom. Graham, please don't encourage the mouth breathers. The mask is not for the wearer, it's for everyone else, but I share your frustration. I know. Whatever. That's one of the reasons I wear it too, because I'm healthy. What if I had it and I didn't have any symptoms, and I'm around some older person or someone with pre-existing conditions, and I give it to them unknowingly? Thank you, sir. Jedi Mullet 77, boom. Excellent documentary on Netflix, Kiss the Ground, about ending industrial farming and using permaculture and other rejuvenating practices to fight climate change and produce more real food. Love it. Let's all watch it. Kiss the Ground. Watch it. Annabelle Corley, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. 270 people watching. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. How many likes do we got? 243. Let's get the likes up there. Let's get the likes up there. Nice work, folks. Annabelle Corley, Trump gets a team of doctors. Most Americans cannot even get basic health care or bankrupts them for them. It's disgusting. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. That's what this shows. And what happened in that debate? You had two guys, Trump and Biden, who are both against Medicare for all. What were they arguing over? Obamacare, which is not a good plan. It's helped some people. I know some people it's helped. It cut my insurance bills down, but it still left, 20 million people uninsured. It's just, Medicare for all. Everybody needs it. So I don't know why it's such a hard thing for people to figure out, but I don't know. Kate put in the chat, kissthegroundmovie.com. Seaweed cures cancer. There you go. I understand the president giving top care. He's the president. And I get that as well. But when we don't even get regular free care, then it really is obvious. I get, sure, the leader should get all this, but we don't even get, if we were all getting good free health care, I'd be like, yeah, of course the president should be taking, that's what the president gets. But we don't even get that, then it's really painfully obvious how bad our system is. I want to show you this real quick. Going back to the Shimshay. Hey, everybody, you're watching The Political Vigilante. Shimshay's cat, Leo, they found him. Leo's with us. We went to our land last night, decided to find Leo. We called him, and he came running from above the mountain. He seems strong and super excited to be with us. He has been real warrior of the story, 5 weeks surviving in a disaster zone and waiting for us until the end. Special thanks to Susie, Ezra, Regina, Melissa. They never gave up on finding our sweet Leo. We're still trying to find a house that feels like home. With Leo here, all seems possible. Our family's complete. Our kids are very grateful too. Thanks for your prayers, sending love and blessing. Oh, that makes me so happy. They found Leo the cat, which is great. There they are. That's fantastic. Oh, that's adorable. That's adorable. I guess those are the three photos. So here's the fundraiser, Shimshay and Susanna Fire Relief Fund. So this is great. Good news. You can still fund it. I'll put it in the show notes here. So Shimshay, they found their cat. Makes me happy. A fascist state is going to give you real socialism. We have to succeed from nation and state and rule ourselves. What we'll get is the prison state they're building in the lie of COVID. Interesting. What's up, Tweet to Tweet? Alan. What's up, Backyard Politics? Check out her show. Russia was scared of losing their warm water base in Crimea. Putin was told, annex it today or fight a war for it tomorrow instead of judging right or wrong. Just try to understand why. Interesting. Anything Corp Dems do on healthcare will only help insurance companies. Yep. Obamacare's private mandate with zero price controls. Gee, how could it go wrong? Oh. Jedi Mullet 77. Boom. Shaving knuckles for justice. Politicians should get a surprise medical bill like the rest of us. God, that would be great. Yes, Shimshay is real. Heath Dillon. Kate, what's up? Say hi to our moderator. Kate, still waiting on the SBA. I'll give you a shout when I know that info. Here's what Kate has to say. Kiss the Ground director was just on The World According to Jesse and said, have 60 growing seasons to repair soil, added nutrients will fix the soil, reverse desert, and take carbon out of the air. Yeah, and I can't wait to watch this, but I'm sure it just kind of supports all the things I've been talking about on the show. There's all these solutions out there. We don't need to like wait for some magic sci-fi invention. There's all these solutions out there. We get off of oil, we stop doing that, and we do all of these things to pull the CO2 out of the air. Talked about the algae, we talked about permaculture, I've talked about that before, I've talked about that with Snork Y2K, we've talked about the aloe vera the mineral that can put on the beaches, that pulls it out of the air, puts it into the ocean. We've talked about this at great length. The solutions are already out there. We just need to implement them on a mass scale. And I'm sure, and I can't wait to watch this, Kiss the Ground. And I'm glad he was on World According to Jesse. It's the thing that I love about Jesse Ventura is he's very pro-environment, understands the climate collapse is happening right now in real time. And the wildfires in the west coast of the U.S. this year, what happened to Australia last year, I mean, on the east coast of Russia, in the Kamchatka region or whatever, a bunch of sea life died, washed up on the shore. And I didn't know there were surfers in that part of the world. It's so awesome that there's people surfing in eastern Russia. But anyway, surfers were like, their eyes were stinging, and like there was some environmental disaster in there, and it's just killing wildlife. It's unbelievable, man. So, by the way, it's Olivine. Sorry, Olivine. Thank you. Thank you, Victoria B. I'm always saying hello. Yes, the UN has come out to say the Democratic primary was rigged. So let's all watch that documentary, Kiss the Ground. 60 growing seasons to repair the soil, adding nutrients to fix the soil. Yeah, there's so many things we could do. Supreme Court will now be controlled by the Republicans. Nothing will get past them now, regardless, and we are in a depression and ecological collapse of all this inaction will embolden the fascists. I know. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was asked to step down while Obama was in office to avoid this very thing. She said no. I think it was Scalia died at the end of Obama's final term, and Obama and the Democrats could have rushed to get a pick in there, and they said no. They could have had two. We wouldn't even be in this situation right now. There could be two liberal judges on the Supreme Court. RBG didn't want to step down. Obama didn't want to force anyone through the last months of his second term. There you go. There's the resistance. There's the Democrats. Elon Musk is just another Bill Gates, same design. You got that right. Ma'am, did you miss my super chat? I stepped away from my computer. No, we got it. We got it, Annabelle. I got your super chat about the Trump's doctor team. We did that. I did both of them. Laura Nicole, 84. Shaving knuckles for justice. Pelosi Dems power play and delaying next stimulus. Of course. And who gets screwed? The American people. It's a great point, Laura Nicole. Who gets screwed? The American people. Oh, Troy Sanders, you're being insulting. Guess what, dumb fuck? I'm blocking you and your stupid face. Go wear a mask so we don't have to see what you look like. Block. Folks, you want to disagree, fine. You want to debate, fine. You start saying insults, then fuck you and fuck your family. You were raised by morons. Go get some knee pads and suck dick for money. How's that sound? I didn't feel like putting up with it today. Dirt, the movie is also good. Okay, cool. This mask hole is on the wrong show. Oh. We need to fund NASA so that they don't have to use commercial rockets. Anyone see the series Mars? Mars becomes just another place for oligarchs to chew up and make money off. Yeah, that's right. RBG is the epitome of selfishness. The woman wanted to be replaced by a female president, had 2 heart attacks, and refused to step down before 2016. She also friends with Justice Scalia. Yep. When does Putin actually have time to run Russia? He's so busy controlling the West. That's hilarious, dude. Oh, God. That is hilarious. Just got some weed and beer. House rules. Don't be a dick. All are welcome. Yeah. That's the thing. Oh, you don't want to listen to different points of view, Graham. No, I love hearing different points of view. We have some wonderful ones. But when you come in the chat and act like a 12-year-old, then, go whack off into a sock in your mom's basement like a 12-year-old. The wildfires stop at the Canada-Mexico borders. Their climate change must be different. Well, those countries have had wildfires for sure. We just don't report on it. Canada's had brutal wildfires. Media saying Putin is a surrogate for Trump's campaign. Oh, God, they're still playing the Russia thing? They're still playing the Russia card? God forbid anyone in the media or within the Democratic Party actually admits to the bullshit that they've done. Like, I can't believe I still have to bring this up to, like, the Vote Any Blue Will Do crowd. Like, I posted something about Jill Stein, and got all this positive. A couple of people were like, oh, Jill Stein gave it Trump. She had dinner with Putin. It's all been, she's talked about that a million times. She sat at this table. She paid her way there. Putin just came in, sat at the table for like 10 minutes. Just so stupid. Like, Hillary did not campaign in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. That was not Putin or Jill Stein. Debbie, these are all facts. These are not my opinions. These are facts. Hillary didn't campaign in those states. She lost those states. Those states were critical to her win. She didn't go to those states. She lost. When the Podesta emails came out, the mainstream media actually covered it. The Debbie Wasserman Schultz was fired when the Podesta emails came out by the DNC for election rigging or tampering, whatever they call it. She was fired by the DNC. I didn't make that up. I didn't fire her. The DNC fired Debbie Wasserman Schultz. She was then hired by the Hillary campaign. I didn't make that up. That tells people this is corrupt. I didn't make that up. Donna Brazile, again, fired by CNN because in the Podesta emails, it revealed she gave Hillary questions ahead of a debate. Why is this so hard to figure out? Those are all facts. Donna Brazile now works for Fox News. Those are all facts. I didn't make any of that up. None of that has to do with Russia. None of it. The DNC admitted in the court case a year later in Florida, they said, we can do whatever we want. They even went against their own charter. Their own charter says they have to run a fair primary. And they said, we don't have to. That's the Democratic Party. I mean, like, we could all go on and on and on. They're still talking about Russia 4 fucking years later. It's unbelievable to me. Did Russia cause 6 million foreclosures to happen when Obama gave $1 trillion to the banks and didn't prosecute anybody? Did Russia do that? No, he did not. Did Putin do that? No. Did Putin contaminate Flint's water? No. Did Putin send Tiger Swan, a private security firm, to go harass and undermine water protectors at Standing Rock? No, that was Obama. That was the American government. Did Putin drop more bombs than Bush? No, Obama did. It's unbelievable to me that these fucking idiots won't see this. Are you dumb? Neoliberals, are you dumb? Do you have the dumb brain? Like, you sound just as dumb as the Trumpers. The Trumpers are like, Trump never lies. Wow, I don't even know how to talk to you. Like, what color is the sky in your world? MAGA red. I don't know what you're saying. You're just as dumb as those people. If you refuse to acknowledge the crimes of the Democratic Party, you're just as out of touch as the Trumper who says he never lies. Trump is awful. So are the Democrats. So is Joe Biden. The whole system is corrupt. What's it like having your head so far up your ass? Like, what's that like? What's that like? I don't know what that's like. Oh. Rachel Maddow has done segments on MSNBC where she blames Russia, and they're sponsored by Boeing. I'm not lying. I'm not making that up. This segment is sponsored by Boeing. And then she talks about, oh, Russia, Russia, Russia. These people are out of their minds. Or they're just evil or crazy or greedy, or they don't care if they ramp us into World War III. I don't know what it is. Oh, so Graham, that means you love Putin? No, that's a stupid, illogical leap. That is lazy. That is being intellectually lazy. To be critical of one thing means I'm automatically in support of another is dumb. It's dumb. I'm not excusing or celebrating anything bad that Putin or Russia has done. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying before you blame an outside, look in the fucking mirror. You're a heroin addict with track marks all up and down your arm, watching somebody with a drinking problem going, dude, you should go to AA meetings. Maybe you should maybe you should stop, booting Skag. You junkie fuck. Oh, unbelievable. Yeah, as Sharif Snug says, it's because Rachel Maddow was God, Graham. Laughed my ass off. Oh, I know. She can say nothing wrong. Oh, so Graham hates gay women? No, her sexual identity has nothing to do with this. She's bought and paid for. All Rachel Maddow demonstrates is the diversity of the ruling class. See, oh, we've got a gay woman who can spew corporate propaganda bullshit. How is this so difficult? And they're telling us that Joe Biden is the answer. Did you watch that debate? Two old sex creep, corrupt, weirdo, rich assholes, white guys. That's Biden and Trump. Those are the two best. And is that on Russia? Is that Russia's fault that those are our two choices? Is that Russia's fault? Answer me. Is that Russia's fault? The fact that we don't have health care, is that Russia's fault? 30,000 people a year die because they don't have health insurance. Is that Russia's fault? We have people in jail for smoking a plant. Is that Russia's fault? We have a private prison system that profits off of criminals, so it needs to create them. Did Russia create systemic racism? Was it the Russian police department that put their knee on the neck of George Floyd? Was it Russia that shot Jacob Blake in the back 7 times? Was it Russia that just shot randomly and just killed Breonna Taylor? Tell me, was that Russia? Was that Russia? Tell me. You vote any blue will do liberal. Tell me, did Russia do that? When you drive through any American city right now, any American city, I don't care if it's in a red state, a blue state, I don't care if it's Dallas, Texas, I don't give a shit where it is. There are homeless people, exorbitant amounts of homeless. Did Russia cause that? Did Russia cause that? There are 1,000 cities with contaminated water. Did Russia cause that? When Obama went to Flint, Michigan and said, oh, the water's fine, and took that fake sip of water, did Putin make him do that? The Uranium One deal, that is actually Russia. Hillary did that. Bill Clinton got paid $500,000 to speak to a bank that has ties to the Kremlin. There's a Russia tie. Is Russia outspending the next 10 countries combined in the military? No, we are. Is it Russia? Did Russia give $4.25 trillion in the CARES Act to Wall Street? No. The democratically controlled Congress, the Republican controlled Senate, and Trump all together signed off on that CARES Act, including people like Ocasio-Cortez, who claims that she didn't. No, she signed off on it. She voted for it. See, none of those is Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, are they part of Russia? The whole system's corrupt. A crumbling infrastructure, is that Putin's fault? The wildfires in the West Coast, again, every year we get these. Is that Russia's fault? Is that Russia's fault? Crushing student loan debt, is that Russia's fault? 22 vets a day committing suicide because we're in these never-ending wars. We've been fighting in Afghanistan for 19 years. Is that Russia's fault? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Wake up and look at the mirror at how awful America is and these two awful parties. The healthcare industry, big pharmaceutical, they give to both political parties evenly. That's why we don't have free healthcare. Or is that Putin? The military-industrial complex gives to both parties. They buy ad time, the pharmaceutical companies. Every time you wonder why some pundit, expert on CNN or MSNBC or Fox or ABC tells you about how Medicare for all is not affordable, and then they cut to an ad from Pfizer or Merck Pharmaceuticals or something, don't you see the connection? People like Rachel Maddow have 7- and 8-figure incomes. They're paid to just spew bullshit or just not cover the reality on things. When they talk about climate change, boy, there's two sides to climate change. And then they cut to an ad from Shell Oil. Don't you see that connection? So don't talk to me about Russia and Putin when we have the most absurd, corrupt. We don't have two parties in this country. We have two classes. We have the ruling class, the 1%, and all of us. When the 30 million evictions come because this government didn't take care of its own people during a pandemic, and by government, I mean Trump and the Democrats, you dipshit Trumpers that think he's somehow your hero, he doesn't give a shit about you. Nancy Pelosi doesn't give a shit about you. Obama didn't give a shit about you. The Clintons didn't give a shit about you. The Bushes don't give a shit about you. Mike Pompeo, Mike Pence, none of them. They don't give a shit about you. Kamala Harris doesn't give a shit about you. They're ruling class assholes, and they profit from your misery. So wake up. I'm tired of seeing the same thing over and over, you dipshit Facebook meme reading fuckheads. Are you stupid? Is your brain not working right? And QAnon is also for idiots. QAnon's a psyop. Good God, read WikiLeaks. QAnon is a psyop. Jesus Christ. It's not that hard. Fuck. This is why I gotta do yoga every goddamn day, because you're so stupid. You're so dumb. You're letting the oligarchs play you for a sucker. You think there's a difference between these two teams? Jesus, blame Russia? Okay. Scratch yourself in the face and then blame the nail polish companies. Shave your knuckles for justice. Blue MAGA is even more insufferable than Trumpers because they have a good education and aren't brainwashed by religion, so it's sadistic. Yeah, I know. It's insane. All right. Humanity, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice song. Anima as Bane. I don't know that song. Portlanders never protested when Obama was president. Funny how Portlanders never realized that deep state exists when Republicans are in office. I know. GDNPB, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. The fact that as an anti-establishment voter, the fact that Trump is the anti-establishment candidate pretty much says it's hopeless. Yeah. Ross Perot stole Graham's house. 309 likes. Outstanding. All right, folks, I got a headache from that rant. I got to go eat. They're brainwashed by education system and MSNBC. Yep. They're brainwashed by centrism and their own privileged upper class. Yep. Lemmings rush to victimhood. Nothing pleases the rulers like a willing sacrifice. My state is blocking the Green Party from the ballots. Yeah, I know. That's by design, man. There were strikes at Portland docks during Occupy in 2011. There's a deep tradition of union fighting there. That's a good point. Yeah, they were protesting. Their Occupy movement was the Occupy movement all happened during Obama. A lot of people were waking up. I'm voting for Ventura too. Outstanding. If Trump's illness fake in order to have him a speedy recovery so they can downplay the handling of the virus. Well, if he comes out of this in 2 weeks and he's fine and I'm great, then yes, it'll absolutely be to downplay the virus and to get out of doing more debates. But I think, again, Melissa H. brought this, the Occam's razor, or no, it's Louise Brooks who brought this up. Occam's razor, the most obvious answer usually is what happened. He's going to all these rallies. He hasn't worn a mask. Somebody had it near him. He got it. He's elderly. He's overweight. He's going to get it. It's not going to be good. You know? Ventura 2020. You got that right back here. Shatner, Freedom 90 by George Michael. Yeah, that's what I'm going to sing. Kate, Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Show Kate some love. She's our moderator. Please check your Patreon. Have info for you. You got it. Melissa H. Oh. SNL, Make America Actively Not on Fire Again. Orphans being drained to fill Trump with healthy blood right now, most likely. Jesus. Yeah. All right, let's do a song. As Shatner. Voting on legislation of weed in New Zealand. Awesome. Is this live stream also over? Yes, it is. Could it be possible to take over the Republican Party if they literally are wandering in the wilderness if Trump loses and Democrats have the rich donors? Yeah, could be. All right, here we go, everybody. Freedom as Shatner. Got to live long and prosper. Boom. That's the show. Oh, wow. Oh, who's that talking? Sam D, Chamber Drexel for Justice. Sam, how you doing, brother? Brilliant today, mate. Fantastic. Thanks, dude. All right, everybody. Great to have you on the show. Great to join you. We had 328 likes. Thanks, everybody, for the super chats. Always. Yep, Shatner had a pseudo-sexual experience with the Venusian monster and got the sweats and it really bad. The Empath is a great episode. Oh, no, you're talking Star Trek episodes. Fantastic. I'll go to my Patreon, Kate. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. Support indie media. Share these videos out. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood, rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. Great ways to support the show. Also, I have a Venmo at Graham-Elwood. I have a PayPal button if you go to GrahamElwood.com. I'm going to be redoing my online store, so there'll be merch to buy soon, because many of you have asked for that. And of course, you can, the free ways to support the show are, make sure you hit the subscribe button, share the videos on your social media, listen to the Political Vigilante podcast. It is free. It is on iTunes and Spotify. Check that out. And as always, you're making Gotham great again. You are all political vigilantes. And shave your knuckles for justice.